ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
Elmore deep, left side three is good! From 30 feet, John Elmore!
The Drive with Paul Swann.
We are coming to you today from the Union Pub and Grill, 1125 4th Avenue in Huntington. I forgot where the place was.
I know, it's a couple weeks off, haven't we?
Paul Swann and Dave Walsh with you, the former Young Thunder quarterback Dave Walsh with you, as it's been a couple of weeks. We had basketball, baseball. We had baseball going to extra innings. Afternoon baseball that started like a couple hours before we went on the air. We've had baseball.
That's right.
We don't have baseball today, so we're
the old saying
here.
is that's a sport without a clock. So
it is a sport without a clock. You are exactly right. So we are here today at the Union Pub and Grill, as we always are on Mondays, except when we're preempted for baseball.
Exactly.
Every Monday at the Union, however, they don't care if we're here or not. They got their thing going. Yeah, they've got their thing going, which is $1.50 domestic bottles, $2 call shots. So basically, $1.50 bottles, $2 call shots all day, all night, every Monday here at the Union Pub and Grill.
Great service.
Well, your particular beverage takes like 5 minutes to get.
It's like, where's Dave? He's at the tap.
Yeah, if you want to look for Dave Walsh, he's at the tap every Monday. She's scraping the foam off here. She's making sure the pH balance is just right for you. Yeah. You are the most finicky person I know.
Yeah.
Most people just come in and, hey, give me $1.50. No, not Dave.
Nah.
No, I want the fancy stuff.
How was the banquet?
Banquet was good.
Celebrating, I saw the trophy today. I was going by the Big Green and make a payment, and I saw the CIT trophy.
Yes, collegeinsiders.com trophy.
And say what you want to. They won it.
Oh, it's cool.
It's a tournament they picked. They ran the table. Give them credit.
Now, for those who couldn't go or just didn't have the ability to go.
A lot of surprise winners, I understand.
Oh, it was fun. Yeah, it was at the Conference Center, St. Mary's Conference Center, so they needed to move there. They had a bigger crowd than I guess they originally expected, so it was a great turnout.
Yeah.
And so with these end-of-year banquets, it's celebrating Marshall basketball. So if you're a Marshall fan, this is sort of like a tip-off club
one last
type
time.
event. Big Green puts this on. And if you don't go to this, I think you should maybe owe it to yourself. If you're a Herd fan, you love Herd basketball, maybe go once.
Yeah.
I mean,
especially after the way they handle this season, coming off that little hiccup, but then they run the table, 10 out of the last 11.
It was great. It was great to see them.
And every time John Elmore took the floor, he broke a record.
Yeah. It was great to see these guys.
Yeah.
And so they gave the awards out, and Dan D'Antoni gave his speech, and you know how he is.
Oh, yeah.
It was
probably a few little humor things along the way.
It was worth the price of admission, but the winners of the awards, and that's the whole thing.
Right.
They're honoring Marshall basketball. And so you had the winner of the Tamara Slay Excellence Award, Tavion Kinsey, who came up, decided I wasn't prepared for a speech, so had to wing it.
Thank you.
Yeah, he didn't expect to give a speech.
Okay.
So he gets the Tamara Slay Award. Then the Bob Allen Toughman Award. To Jared West.
Yes.
Well, of course it goes to
Was he
Jared
ready for a
West.
speech?
He was good.
Okay.
He came up second, so he knew what to expect here.
All right. Number 3.
And then the Charlie Slack Tough Man Award. I guess Slack and Allen both decided, hey, our award's going to be Tough Man. And that was Jansen Williams. So he gets the award.
I think rightfully so. He went to war a lot underneath.
If you're going to match up a guy with a guy, Charlie Slack, Jansen Williams, I can see that. And then the Mike D'Antoni Mr. Marshall Award goes to John Elmore.
Okay.
What do you question that decision?
No.
You're like, okay.
You're going like this. You're going like, who else could it have been?
Well, you have one more award, and it's the Hal Greer Most Outstanding Player Award, and that went to C.J. Burks.
And I'm sure when C.J. was handed that and he thought who it was named after, he probably felt it was even a little more special. Hal Greer, Marshall Hall of Fame, and I'm winning something named after him.
And they got this nice little crystal plaque, not plaque, but a little crystal statuette, plaque. And it was nice, and they had a time, and again, great crowd. It was moved to the convention center because there was such a demand, and it was catered by one of the better restaurants in Huntington. I'm not going to mention their name only because
exactly
they can buy advertising on the show.
Right. but I went to one of
the
the functions down there one time where you were at St. Mary's thing, and it is to think what we used to do there, shopping and stuff, and the way they set it up. And it was a crowd tonight. We were there, was pretty crowded, and they can handle a lot of people. And the way Marshall basketball finished up, hey, there was a lot of people on that wagon.
So you're saying that's probably alien to a lot of people that, wait a minute, you shopped there? That was a shopping center?
That used to be Sears.
And Big Bear, don't forget.
Exactly.
Yeah, Big Bear and Sears was there.
Exactly. Tim Stevens used to work there.
What?
At Sears.
Tim Stevens worked at Steers, the former. I'm sorry, he's still there.
He's still there.
In a limited capacity.
They keep him hopping.
Is he a freelancer or is he full time
well,
there?
No,
What is
he's
he?
full time,
Okay.
and he made the annual trip to the Reds opener and got his usual 15 stories out of it. Because I read, I know how it works, and I'm reading the story every day. This. He had a lot of. He's good at that. He loves baseball. He loves baseball.
So he can go to one game and get 15 stories?
Yes.
Why isn't he covering practice?
I don't know. Grant gets a few too.
Yeah, Grant gets a few.
Yeah.
But why isn't he at practice?
I don't
He can
know.
make 15 stories out of one practice.
But it's basketball. But then you also mentioned yesterday there's a lot of people watching television.
Was there something on TV
Between
yesterday?
9 and 2.
Was there something on TV yesterday?
Some guy named T&W.
Tiger Woods?
Yeah.
I've heard of him.
Yeah.
Fifth Masters.
5 green jackets.
That came out of nowhere, didn't it? I'm sure there's a lot of people who said, that was going to happen. I just came out of nowhere, though.
Some people thought with all he'd been through, he was challenging, but there's so many out there now. But, yesterday, think of all the names that finished below him, and they were at one point in time either tied or ahead of him. And when it was all said and done, he made the fewest mistakes of anybody, and he's got another green jacket.
And he's got over $2 million in his pocket now.
I think he'll survive.
Before taxes.
Yeah. But you know what was neat yesterday? You get a little sentimental. You think the first time he won 97, he shares a hug with his dad. Yesterday, he shared the hug with his kids, and that was kind of neat to watch the little one come out and go, he is more than YouTube. And then his daughter, who's a little bit older. And I'm sure that one was very moving to do what he did 22 years ago when he walked off the green and hugged his dad.
Now, the runners-up now we go
They
down
get
the
chump
list.
change?
Well, it's not chump change to me.
Yeah.
$858,000 and then some for the three who tied second. And then you get to the fifth place, $403,000.
Right.
You go to ninth. There were several tied for ninth, $310,000.
1,000.
Bubba Watson tied 12th with a few others. He gets $225,000 and some change. You want to scroll down? You scroll. Phil Mickelson
was.
Yeah, he was tied for 18th. He makes $161,000.
He can make his Greenbrier payment.
And then you start scrolling down, 21st place, 22nd place. If you finish 50th,
You mentioned the last cashier did pretty well, too.
you finish 50th, $28,980.
That covered your expenses for the week.
That's lunch money for Jason Toy back in the studio, our producer. But $28,980.
Yeah, but
If I finished 50th, I could have maybe earned my salary and then some. I don't know.
But his victory yesterday, looking on the net and here to talk today, now they've resumed. Will he catch Jack or pass Jack? That's back in the conversation. A lot of them said no, would never. What he's been through.
No.
But the way he handled it yesterday, will he? A couple guys on the radio on 94.1 blowing my way in were going like, no.
I don't think so.
They don't think so, but they said, hey, for what he did yesterday, hats off.
I think that was it was a perfect storm.
Oh, yeah.
He played one of his better games in a long time, and the other opponents.
They hiccuped here, hiccuped there, and boom.
They missed some opportunities.
And just think, you're in the broadcasting world. I was thinking about this the other day. Who had a better job in the last week than Jim Nantz every year? Final Four Saturday and Monday. Great game on Monday. Then he hustles over to Augusta and gets to call Tiger yesterday. And he probably made $2 million too.
I don't know.
But,
I'm sure he made
could you
a
imagine
suitable salary.
Behind the mic for Monday night championship game the way it turned out, and then I got to hustle over to Augusta, and then you call Tiger's win yesterday. That would have been kind of neat.
You're living in large in charge.
Yeah. It's just the guy made a point that they're in Butler cabin making their presentation. They do it later, and they're going like, all this stuff is done. Then you got 5 people in a room. Take it to the masses. They were out there waiting for him when he redid it, but it was just like, the old television.
I don't know. I kind of like the mystique of it.
Yeah.
I kind of like the way, even though we're in a day and age where everything is everywhere, I kind of like the way the Masters
And you
is.
notice when Jim Nantz comes on at the Masters and his fellow workers, it is pretty much almost tuxedo setup. There's no, laid-back type thing. It's pretty much tie, coat, the whole 9 yards, and, it's a different place. I'd love to go there before I move on, bucket list, but I don't think that'll happen. But our guy used to work at our paper, Rick Nolte, had been there a few times, and he said it's a place you got to see one time. It's just like, one thing, it's a lot hillier than what you think it is.
Okay, so
on
we're
TV.
going to have to get you a media credential.
Dude, that ain't going to happen.
We can get you media. Look,
That one in our credential to go to Boise for the football game this year? No.
we can get you in. We can get you in. Look, If my good friend from WSAZ, Keith Morehouse, can get credentialed, I can get you in.
Okay.
I can get
You probably have connections that I don't even know about.
I probably have
that you
connections
haven't even touched yet.
I'm sure I have connections I don't even know about. I'll get you in.
Okay.
You're going to cover it though. You're going to work. You're going to walk.
Well, I read.
No sitting in the clubhouse.
I read last year when they redid the media complex. It's like, why would you want to leave the media complex? You're sitting there in an unbelievable complex like that, food, drink, the whole 9 yards, and all these TVs. Everything, and if somebody does something, they bring them to you anyway.
I get you.
Yeah.
I get you in.
Yeah. Sort of like when we're at basketball. Things happen. Here he is, Paul. Take Tavion. Here he comes. You two guys hit it off. I listened to a lot of the last 2 or 3 games. He was there.
Cool.
He was a great guy.
Tavion's fun. He's going to be the future of Marshall basketball. You're going to see him for a few more years.
I don't think he'll be like 1 or 2 more and gone. We'll see. As Danny says, freshman to senior, we'll see him.
He'll stick around. Jared West, you get him for a couple more years.
Right. Jansen, what, 1 more?
I believe.
Right.
Jared's going to be something to watch, though.
Jared, I felt like watching the championship game in that tournament. It was just, he's a pain. We joked in the conference. I said, Jared, what's it like to be a pain in the, you know what? And he said, that's what I'm supposed to do. And he harassed that guy that night, picked his pocket a few times. Anything Daddy, I would not want number 13 guarding me. He makes it very tough.
Well, I think you would be protected. If he's guarding you, we're playing football.
That's right.
I don't see you on the basketball court.
No. And football is still going on right now. What, 2 weeks to go?
Yeah. Coming up a couple Saturdays from now, we're going to have the controlled scrimmage.
I remember last year the controlled scrimmage was like half of them weren't playing, and then it's just run this, that, and it was just, and then they stopped. I think the weather got a little, and then they just quit.
And it's fun for the fans who want to come out and see a controlled scrimmage, but it's not like a spring game. It's not a spring game.
No, it's labeled that green and white, but that's only because one's in green, one is white. Right. But after that, no.
It's complete practice. It's
They're waiting.
Scrimmage.
Their next time it gets for real will be August, 31st? Other than that, no. It's vanilla plus.
Would it be more exciting, though, if they were playing a spring game? Do you think more people would show up?
Yeah, but it's almost now, they're not going to do much, so you don't get, I'll wait for the fall version to show up.
Okay, so.
Because they're trying to get a few, the young guys in. The veterans probably don't play that much. And then you cross your fingers. Please don't let anybody get hurt.
So Dave Walsh will not be in attendance at the Green.
No, I will be there.
Oh, you'll be there?
I got my 2 tickets for the alumni.
Okay.
We'll tell you right now, whatever they're doing the game beforehand, no.
A flag football game?
No.
You're not doing that?
No.
You don't want to see flag football?
No, I could have. All these former players are invited back to play in it.
Right.
No.
You don't want to see. You don't want to play in that. You don't want to see that.
There's no wheelchair division. I'll see it, but there's no wheelchair division.
Okay. We could wheel you out there. You could.
I'll be interested to see. Be interested to see who comes back for that. Be interested to see who's here.
That would be interesting to see what the roster.
Now we know Lee Smith's going to be here because he's a speaker at the dinner the night before. Mr. Rader's in town.
I'm sure we're not going to see like Vinnie Curry out there playing flag.
No, I don't think Chad will be doing it. I don't think Vinny will be doing it. Who else is? No, Mike Bartram. No.
Leftwich will be busy.
No, Letras. It's going to be fun to watch him this year. Coordinator's role now, and from all indications, it's just a matter of time before he's a head coach one day.
We're here today at the Union Pub and Grill, the Monday special every Monday. $1.50 bottles, $2 call shots, and, of course, you've got everything you possibly can want to watch.
Right.
Tonight we've got NHL, we've got NBA. We can get into that a little bit later on as well. As we're coming to you today from the Union Pub and Grill, Paul Swann and Dave Walsh with you here on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Buckle up. Paul Swann has the wheel on The Drive. ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
We are here today at the happening place. It's a Union Pub and Grill. It's where everything happens.
Stretch.
Is it really already the 7th inning stretch?
No.
Where are you coming from?
No. 2 weeks ago we were thinking we'd get past that because then they score and then we have to go. Don't think it's going to happen.
I don't know what's worse, your short-term or your long-term memory these days. Dave Walsh with me.
Remember, I had concussion protocol long before it was dubbed CP.
So do you speak to the kids about concussion protocol?
No. I have some fun with it. I remember 2 years ago at our Latterman tournament, I had to speak, and I told them I had my knee brace on. I said that was courtesy of Jack Lambert and Mel Long, and they all kind of laughed because they knew who I was talking about. So I meant, talking about meeting them personally, them offering to help me up, and they said, "Nah, just stay on down there, dude."
It's better down here.
And Mel Long never loses the game, and Jack Lambert's in the Hall of Fame, and he has me to thank for it. Not totally, but I contributed to it.
We're here.
I know. Let's move on.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
.org.
Man,
yeah, I know.
Lost control already. It's 24 minutes into the show. We're here at the Union Pub and Grill, 1125 4th Avenue in Huntington. Our phone lines this hour brought to you by Miller Lite. Miller Lite, hold true, great taste, only 96 calories. It is the original light beer. 877-420-TALK, 877-420-8255. Or, of course, you can just come down and hang out with us here at the Union Pub and
Grill.
Grill.
Plenty of space.
Well, we've got some room. Yeah. It'll jam up tonight. We've got hockey. We've got NBA to get into tonight.
You into it? Are you watching or just kind of?
Yeah, I'm into it. I'm not hardcore yet. I'm cruising into it as my availability, my schedule allows. I mean, I got other things to do too, Dave. Yeah, I got other things to do.
He takes 4 rounds. I'm thinking I'll catch him a little bit later. I mean, there's some surprises going on, but I'll tune into it later.
I'm not going to get into the NBA playoffs as much.
No.
Not feeling it.
How about the ice?
I'm always into the ice.
Are you feeling the one that's going on about 2.5 hours from here?
I am not feeling that. I'm not down with the Blue Jackets beating the Lightning. I'm not down with that at all.
Ollie? Can you imagine if it was like a Final Four bracket, you fill it out, and everybody has Tampa Bay to go past Columbus?
You mean me?
No, I'm just saying if it was a bracket like basketball and
There is.
Like my bracket in basketball after week 1, and now everybody's got Tampa Bay moving on.
Yeah, mine's
and
busted.
Pittsburgh moving on, and it's like, uh-oh.
Mine's busted already. They win. They win in Game 4 Tuesday night. I'm done.
You're done?
I'm done. Tampa, you're done. I don't know what I was thinking. Best team in hockey this year. What was I thinking?
Yeah, it's tied the record for wins.
I mean, I got Calgary going to the finals. Maybe I should have.
On the other side,
I should have picked the Islanders. I actually had the Islanders going to the Stanley Cup final, and then I rethought it, and that was my mistake. I rethought it.
Yeah, first impressions. That's Barry Trotz. He won it last year and left, and they're on the verge of taking out who.
He can
Sydney's
do that.
about to have his golf season starting real soon if he's not careful.
He can do that. The Islanders and the Penguins have a long history. They go back a ways doing these playoff games.
Yeah.
And the Islanders usually had the better end of it before the Islanders became not really significant.
Yeah, and just moving from building to building to building.
And I was just remembering, I was an Islanders fan, and then they changed the logo to that Gorton Fisherman. And I'm like, nope, I'm done.
You go by the grocery store, there they are.
Look, no, I'm not rooting for a team that has the same logo as the fish sticks I buy.
As my dinner.
Yeah, my dinner and my hockey team's logo should not match.
No.
So, see you later, Islanders. And I just said, okay, I'm going to fully commit here. I'm going to be a Rangers guy because my guy, Wayne Gretzky, retired there.
Yeah.
I'm going to be here, and I was following him. So I was an Edmonton Oilers fan because of Gretzky. Then he went to L.A., and I followed him. And then he went to St. Louis. I followed him. Then he went to play with Mark Messier in New York, finish his career. I followed him there. Yeah. So, and I like Messier, and I like those Rangers back in 94.
Is that the one that made the prediction?
Messier said, we will win.
Game 7? Hey.
Game 6, I believe.
Game 6, whatever. Hey. They're leaving. We're staying. They're out. We're in. So
he made the prediction.
Yeah, and that came true.
And so I like this, though. I mean, I know there's some Penguins fans in the audience, but I like the fact we're getting some new blood out there. Not that I really care that the Blue Jackets are winning, but
that's new blood.
Hey, I like Tampa Bay. I like what they had, and then I just want to see Boston and Toronto go 7.
But then one of those goes down. That's when the original 6 out.
I'm not hung up on that.
Can you imagine that the original 6 and now it's 30?
I'm not hung up on that.
And then somebody would wake up one morning and go like, how'd Vegas get here? Here we go again with Vegas.
If you talk about watching 2 original 6 teams play each other, that's really cool. But I don't have to have an original 6 team go in and win the Stanley Cup.
No.
I mean, what if Washington won it again? That'd be okay.
Yeah.
What if Nashville finally started getting good again? What's that slide for?
Could you imagine the downtown parade in Nashville? Who would be in the cars with the players? That'd be interesting.
It'd be cool.
Yeah. Well, you want new blood, and that would be new blood.
I mean, Nashville has really been the one team that has gotten a team in the South that's really waved the banner.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like their uniforms with the little, way the design and stuff.
And what about the Golden Knights? They have definitely asserted themselves. That's been a nasty series.
Yes. But, I mean, since they're playing when we're all asleep and we're going to wake up 3 weeks, about a month from now, going like Vegas versus this for the Stanley Cup.
10:30 p.m. tomorrow.
Yeah.
We can come down here tomorrow. 10:30, we can just get this same table. We get that TV going.
Yeah, we can watch one there and watch the Reds on the other one. They're on tonight.
Why would you watch that?
I don't know.
Why would
only
you watch
tonight,
that?
Only reason you watch is the Clayton Kershaw's making his first appearance. One pitch, change the channel.
It's terrible baseball.
I know.
It's really terrible.
Yes. They were like, Reds could even score. Forget win. Score.
I like the fact that people are loyal to their team, but it's terrible.
Yeah.
I don't have to. I can be loyal to you and still not watch it. It's
That's right.
terrible.
I love you, but
yeah,
no.
Exactly. This whole mindset that, okay, you're not being loyal to the team. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's professional, so I'm okay with that. They're getting paid. They're good.
Right.
They're not going to miss me.
Yeah. If I don't do something, it's not like the franchise is going to fold tomorrow. No. They're fine.
Yeah.
They're fine.
But on the flip side, you always talk about, well, where are the fans at? Where are they at? They don't want to watch that.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah. And we go through that here.
I probably use terrible more than Charles Barkley has this month.
Had to feel for Charles a little bit. They're not, think 1 minute he's going to play in the final for the championship. Next second, it's like, eliminated.
It happens.
Yeah.
He'll be okay.
Yeah. He put it just like Bruce Pearl. One play didn't decide the game. We had 40 minutes to decide it, not 1 second.
He'll be okay. He'll get over
it.
You see where he shouted out to LeBron, hey, why don't you come on and do some TV coverage with me? He basically said you're not doing anything.
Is this the first time in how long for LeBron not being?
It's been a while.
Having his uniform put up at the end of the regular season.
It's been a while. But he moved to L.A. He didn't move to L.A. to win championships. He's moved to L.A. to launch his media career.
Doesn't he have a show on right now, The Miracle Mile, some kind of mile?
He's got a little bit of everything. He's involved in a lot of projects.
Yeah.
And, of course, I don't follow LeBron that much, so I couldn't name him off the top of my head. And so that goes to show you how much that he's in my headspace. He's not.
He's got that one CBS show, something Mile, Miracle, whatever, and that's one of the reasons he's out there. They said he didn't come here. Basketball's part of it, but this is the Mecca to do a lot of things, and he's right there.
He wants to be a multi-millionaire in media.
34, 35 now?
He's close to that, yeah.
He's getting closer to time for part 2, so he'll be ready.
I mean, his legacy is assured. He's won some championships. He's one of the greatest players of all time. The debate will rage on who's better, him or Jordan.
Yeah.
And I'm always going to pick Jordan over him.
Yeah.
And I might take Kobe over him too. Not from statistics, but by end results.
Yeah. How many banners?
And, of course, Kobe had Shaq to help him win a couple of titles.
Right.
And then Kobe didn't have Shaq to win a couple of titles.
Right.
And I really thought that the way that Kobe played, I don't really feel like Kobe took time off. I really don't feel like Kobe went out there and just dogged it. I really thought he was just the type of player, he wanted to go out there and just end you.
Game 1, opening whistle to the end of the year, hey, he's giving it the old 110%.
That's why I like Elmore as well. Elmore, he'll tell you that maybe sometimes to his detriment. Yeah. Don't telegraph that. Just do it.
Do it.
But Elmore would like to go out there and just kill you.
Yeah. It was almost like when Mike would take him out for a little blow or Danny would take him out. He was mad. I can go 40 minutes. I'm only 20 years old. I can handle it. We give him a blow, bring him back. So, and we saw him, dude. He gave it everything, both ends of the floor.
Got to play smart, though.
Yeah, because how many times did he take off to the basket, like, and get laid out, turn it over, whatever, and nothing was called? After a while, you're going like, that's not working.
Hey, that's another thing we found out, that John Elmore is not Mike Hamrick's wife's favorite player.
Who is it?
It's not John Elmore because he flops, she said.
Would it be CJ?
Could be.
Okay. Well, we'll keep it a secret.
Yeah, we'll keep it a secret. All right, we're going to take our next break. Come back. We are here today at the Union Pub and Grill every Monday. The Monday special is $1.50 bottles, $2 call shots, and you can get that all day and all night here at 1125 4th Avenue in Huntington at the Union Pub and Grill. I'm Paul Swann with Dave Walsh, the former Young Thundering Herd quarterback, and you're listening to The Drive on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
We are coming to you today from the Union Pump and Grill, always on Monday. 2 reasons why I come down. It's not me and Dave Walsh, the former Young Thundering Herd quarterback.
We'd like to think so, but
look, I know, I'm realistic.
I know.
You come down.
You are that.
If you come down to the Union Pub and Grill, you're coming down here for 2 reasons: $1.50 domestic bottles or $2 call shots,
and great service.
and
There's
then you
really
get to
3.
see us.
Right. That's a fringe benefit.
I mean, we're like a plus.
I know.
We're the icing on top.
With the
of
ESPN Plus.
Hey, still the best value in streaming today.
You have proved it.
I might
You
cancel
have
though.
proven it.
I might
Okay.
cancel though.
Okay.
Hockey season's over. Yeah, well, they're not showing those games. NBC's got all that stuff now.
Okay.
I'll see. I mean,
But
I don't
you
know.
did take advantage of it.
There's curling, there's rugby, there's soccer. I can watch soccer. You know how much
I know.
look. If it's not Marshall soccer, I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah. I remember all
Is
this.
that wrong? Is that wrong with
No,
me?
I just remember some conversations you and Rick Hockey's daughter Samantha used to have about soccer.
Yeah.
That was fun to listen to.
Oh, it's awesome.
A lot of give and take there.
Right, and of course, over the years, I have
You won.
I've debated these people, and I have been on the fields of battle with these people.
Exactly.
And if it's not Marshall soccer, I'm not in.
No. Sorry, that's just the way it is.
Hey, with that said, though, I support them.
Yeah.
I support both the Marshall soccer programs. And you know what? Heard baseball as well. That's a thing.
They play tomorrow at
They
home.
do play tomorrow.
OU.
Kennedy Center, 3 p.m. Wouldn't this be great in a couple years? We're talking about, hey, we're going to be hanging out at the Kennedy Center, and we're going to be watching this, or the, we're going to be, it's going to be fun.
I remember one day I was watching some softball, and I remember seeing on television they had a Big Ten game, and Shonda was on with Indiana playing at Michigan. The softball field was this way, the baseball field was here, and you could see them going back and forth. And I said, well, you look out here, and one day they're going to be playing baseball right across the tracks. One day.
I hope they get a facility refresh after baseball.
Yeah.
It'd be nice for them. But you know what? This is a great – you can make this trip tomorrow. You go to Kennedy Center.
That's the rival, Bobcats.
It's
They've
fun.
already beat them once.
You get to you don't have to travel to Charleston to see this.
Or Beckley.
I'm good with Beckley.
Yeah.
They were good to the Herd.
Exactly.
I would throw a game there.
Yeah.
I would do one game there. Or one series maybe. Or just, or at least
for
I would
the
do a
most
game.
part, outside the Southern Miss series, they've been right there.
Right.
They took 2 out of 3 from Western or Southern, but 2 of the 3 losses to Southern Miss were one runners, and they're the pick to win the league.
That's a good program. They're 8-7 right now in league, 20-15 overall. So they're taking on the Bobcats tomorrow, and they're playing a lot better baseball. They don't have to worry about travel as much. I think that helps.
I think the old saying, we get to sleep in our own bed.
Yeah, that helps immensely. So they're in action.
When they would play in Charleston or Beckley, the game's over. They're coming back, and the other team's already at their hotel resting up, and Marshall's on the way back, ready to come. And maybe in Beckley, they might have stayed themselves. I don't know if they commuted or not from Beckley. But Charleston would be a challenge because, I-64, something goes wrong, traffic issues. They're not letting you through just because you're a baseball team.
Think of the travel miles, though. They're not cashing in on anymore.
I know.
Can't get those travel miles.
No. Marriott Rewards or whatever. I don't know. I guess you just got to worry about your own bed.
A few years from now, we're going to have this, though. We might not be on the air if they play an afternoon game.
Who?
Us.
Marshall?
Us.
Yeah.
They play an afternoon game, we might not be on the air.
We'll be up there anyway.
We'll be there, but, the voice will be here.
Yeah.
Probably on the air.
Right.
Calling Marshall baseball.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Some afternoon baseball.
1970, when I came here, to think all the things that have gone on, and within 2 years now, they will have a home.
There are a lot of cynical people. There are a lot of people who just didn't think that was going to happen.
There's probably some who still think it won't happen.
Well, they'll have to actually go walk through
until
the
I'm
gates.
Sitting in the stands watching a ball be thrown for the first pitch, then I might buy it. Other than that, until you build it, I'm not coming.
The dirt will break soon.
Yes.
That's going to go up soon. The Hal Greer statue is going to go up soon. Hopefully they'll swing around, clean up that area near softball. I know there's still more plans for improvement in that area, not Marshall-related necessarily. But
you talking about statues. What if they'll ever do a Jack Cooker for baseball, for what he meant?
I think they should do a bust at least.
Something for what he meant to baseball.
Name the stadium after him, or the field.
We joked. We didn't joke. We had some serious talk about that up there the day of the announcement. They got Jack Cook Way. I don't think it's going to be the stadium because somebody's going to ante up a little bit of revenue, and it's going to be that.
I still think you name the field after him. You have to.
Well, it could be Jack Cook Field at whatever the stadium's called. Just like
I'm fine with that.
I can handle that, and put Jack Cook Field down the first and third base lines.
You put his name on that stadium because his name is significant. Now, you bring up a good point, though. Jack Cook on that stadium name, if they can work it out, that'd be great, but somebody's going to pony up some cash to pay for this thing.
Right.
Or at least put some revenue into the Marshall coffers.
Yes.
The stuff isn't cheap.
And that name goes on. And that's, it's 2019. That's the way the game's played.
That's how it should be.
Money, money.
I get it. I understand.
Yeah. The other day we were talking to somebody and they thought about somehow Texas A&M came up and you think they just paid all this money to the coach to leave. They made a big hire. They're paying off a football coach to bring in Jimbo Fisher. And we was going like, you know what? When that happened, it may sound like a lot of money. The checks were already written. That's not an issue.
Well, when you're a smaller university.
It is an issue.
It is an issue. It's a big issue.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at a situation where you just don't have you have the passionate fan base, but you just don't have enough of them.
Right.
I mean, I'll steal that from Mike Hamrick, that
right.
quote. Yeah, you got great fans, you just don't have enough of them.
Right. And there are people clamoring AAC every now and then. I'm going like,
no,
we couldn't.
Not now.
The resources are different the way they're distributed now.
If you were able to strike back in the 90s,
yes.
you could have built the program
But you saw what their TV deal's worth. It's pretty substantial from ESPN. So.
It's a lot better.
Yeah.
Marshall's not going to be the sole reason why Conference USA TV is going to be better package-wise, and it's just a whole package. And I don't know if you can look at Marshall, what they bring market size. It's
right.
not anything to do with Marshall per se. It's okay.
Yeah.
What do you bring market size?
Mm-hmm.
And you would be the smallest kid in the pool over there.
Exactly. But also the conversation at the last football practice. The Access Bowl is, the $13 million postseason. Marshall gets a crack at it right out of the gate. To me, Boise-Marshall winner is ahead until UCF suits up Central Florida and does what they do and get anointed. But until that happens, to me, Marshall, Boise winner, will be in the lead until UCF comes up and passes them. But still, even that, you can't lose. You still can't lose a game. You know how that goes. One loss and you're an afterthought.
You just hope somebody in your conference wins,
and
you get a piece of it.
But it'd be so nice. You beat Boise out there. You're in the conversation. You do well. And next thing you know, just to be in the conversation.
Are we having that conversation that early, though? That's the thing.
Well, it's right out of the gate because, Central Florida, and prior to that was Boise. It was every year it was be Boise State's to lose.
I still don't know if Boise State's that significant right now. I think it's Central Florida's to lose.
Exactly, because their quarterback might be back. They got some, name recognition right now.
This has been a long-term plan of theirs. They were planning this when they were 1AA. They were making them remove the 1AA. They were making these plans to make this transition,
right.
And they're right there. They can't.
And that stadium has been enlarged. I think they're 40-plus now, and there's still room to put another deck if they need it.
They've got the resources to do this.
And you're sitting in Orlando.
They've got the resources to make this happen, whereas a lot of schools don't. And, the TV money does help. But at the end of the day, that's a program that has a population to draw from. And if they can turn that and translate it into capital for the athletic program, all the better.
Yeah.
And people have jumped on their football program. They're excited.
Except Kirk Herbstreit. Kirk had a hard time.
Is he ever excited?
Well, he just schedule. If I heard it once, we heard it 1,000 times. Well, they don't play this schedule. Well, they play who's in front of them. Just like Marshall, we're going to play who's in front of them. We cannot control it because we're not in the Big Ten. But I reiterate, the team that played for the national championship in basketball, Texas Tech, lost in the first round of their conference tournament and still played for the national title.
But the difference there is, even though a lot of teams don't get
right.
a second shot at this,
right.
teams get in. So you have a little bit more of an opportunity to go out there and finish your season strong.
Just like we mentioned with Middle Tennessee last year when their coach was there, got beat in the first round. He went down to Ole Miss. Guess what? He was in a tournament this year. They were like 5th in the league, but he still got a bid. They got beat, but he got a bid.
The good news is, though, for basketball, Marshall can play for a national championship
right.
every year.
Yeah.
If they get into the tournament, they can play for a national championship.
Football can't.
Football cannot.
Well, they could, but odds are it's not going to happen.
Well, no, they can't. There's no way. There's no way.
Those guys in that room, guys and gals in that room, are not going to vote Alabama versus Marshall. They'd be going like, what are you drinking in that room other than coffee?
There is a guaranteed path to play in the NCAA tournament. You just have to get there.
Right.
It's right there. You cannot be shut out.
Right.
If you force your way in.
Yeah,
and how you force your way in, you win your conference tournament, you get your automatic bid.
Like you said in basketball season, Marshall and Duke have the same amount of chances to win They're both eligible to win a national championship. In football, Duke, because the ACC could, but it's probably not going to happen. But Marshall, it's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen.
Your group of 5 status, it's not going to happen. We'll give you the access for your one thing. They'll tolerate you, but you're not going to be on the grand stage in January.
What's more fun to watch, the Access Bowls and the championship series and college football, or the basketball tournament?
We saw the bowls.
Fun?
Now guys are not even playing. The seniors are skipping a bowl.
Well, if it's not a significant game.
Yeah. There's only 2 significant games with 2 semifinals and finals.
But do you blame these kids?
No.
If they're on the cusp of making multi-millions of dollars, are they going to risk themselves?
No. If you had 2 guys, Will Greer, and I forget, I think I'm sorry, but 1 sack and my career's up in smoke. I'll take my chances elsewhere.
We're coming to you today from the Union Pub and Grill. Every Monday, we're here at the Union Pub and Grill. They've got the Monday special, $1.50 bottles, $2 call shots. You can find that at 1125 4th Avenue in Huntington here at the Union Pub and Grill. I'm Paul Swann with Dave Walsh. We'll get some of your phone calls in on the Miller Lite phone lines at 877-420-TALK, 877-420-8255. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Hold true, great taste. Only 96 calories. It is the original light beer. We got more on the way. It's The Drive. ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Now, back to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Me neither.
One final time from the Union Pub and Grill, 1125 4th Avenue in Huntington. Paul Swann and the former Young Thunder and Herd quarterback with us, Dave Walsh. He's here on Mondays. The only way I can pay him is because we're here at the Union.
Not winners baseball. We've been, got X'd out for 2 weeks, but we're back. And I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, you haven't got paid, though, in 2 weeks.
You know what? I appreciate having the opportunity.
You get the liberties at the bar. That's what I'm saying here. And, of course, you can come down here and take advantage of everything that goes on Mondays. $2 call shots, $1.50 domestic bottles every Monday here at the Union Pub and Grill. Okay, we had a running joke a few weeks ago that we couldn't hit the landing on.
Okay.
So I'm just demanding right now from the mayor of Huntington, Steve Williams, that I want a parade. I want a parade. I want a proclamation.
Yep.
I won the fantasy hockey league a few weeks ago.
Team day.
We were joking like, "Hey, we're going to have the victory parade here." No, and then we had baseball.
You'll work it out.
We're going to work it out, but I've already told the mayor that I want a proclamation. I want something. Parade. I mean,
How many teams did you beat out?
It was a 10. It was a 10.
That's pretty significant.
Yeah, well, it was cool. Actually, it was my first attempt at it. Actually, I had 3 leagues. I tried 3 different styles, and just to kind of get a feel for it. And I've really jumped on the fantasy sports bandwagon a little bit more because of it. It's been really fun. I'm doing baseball right now. Maybe not as invested in it, but I'm trying that. I'm not going to do basketball. I'm going to draw a line there. I've done football before.
You won the hockey. Who was your netminder?
Who do I have in there? That's a good question. It runs over 2 weeks.
Okay.
So
you have to update or change?
Yeah, you have to change the roster. And I draw players all the time. I didn't have one guy I rode with. And that's the fun of it. You're sitting here like, okay, I've got
you get the hot man at the time.
Exactly. And that's what a lot of people do. I learned that. You sometimes deal with players who stream, and what that is you've got a player who's a hot hand. You go acquire them for that day, and then you go get the next guy who's have got a hot hand, and he's playing. So if you get a goaltender that's playing on a Monday, you go pick him up, and then there's a backup who's playing on a Wednesday, you go grab him, and it just depends on how your league's set up.
That's a lot of homework.
Oh, well, it was fun, though, if you really enjoy the sport.
If you're into it.
You enjoy the sport. It's really fun. I thought I would have a good time at it, and I realized what I would do. I would make it a full-time job. It was my second job sometimes. You
push the right buttons.
You put 5 or 10 minutes into it once a day or every other day, depending on your league. The baseball one, though, I look at once a week because the roster's set on Monday.
Well,
that's pretty fun, though.
Same thing like my days in the fantasy football. Sometimes you draft them and you're going like, why did you take him?
Hey, I heard about your
Why
league.
Did you take him?
I've heard you were like with Doug Smocker or something, right?
No,
you guys had your different.
Brian Chambers used to run it. He left, and we haven't had one since.
Okay.
I've heard about Smock with his.
But you left too, so maybe you could come back. Who's in your league?
Timmy was.
Okay. You mean Turtle hasn't picked up and taken the mantle?
I think he's done some stuff, but it's not over there. He's in the independent league.
Okay, he's independent.
The independent league.
He's independent. All right, breaking news. You'll find out more on ESPN. Duke freshman Zion Williamson, the player of the year, making it official, declaring his eligibility for the NBA draft. So Williamson is
Hello,
on.
Cleveland.
See you, Zion.
Maybe.
Cleveland was the first pick. I don't think I'd declare it. That does it for this edition. The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.